Hey, Dental Nachos crew, it's Paul, Dr. Nacho, bringing you guys a segment with a key resource and sponsor that can help you make your dental life better, figure out what to do next. We're in this Nacho Nuts time with the coronavirus crisis, and I'm happy to be talking with Mark Johnson, founder of Student Loans RX, how he can help you figure out how to pay your student loans in light of the CARES Act. Mark, before I introduce yourself, I always think student loans are like my friend Mr. Grumbly here. You know, they got to figure out what to do, how to manage them. So share with us what you do and how you help dentists.
Sure. So thank you. Thanks again for your time today, Paul, and for your audience. We help primarily dental professionals as they transition from school or residency into their careers or head off to residency, create a comprehensive plan around their student loan debt.
Awesome. And now, I know I'm someone who gets an opportunity to work with young dentists, medium-age dentists. Student loans are a big deal, you know, how to manage them. But now we're in this time with this CARES Act. Share with us how that affects student loans at this time.
Sure. There was primary three provisions in the CARES Act that really your audience should pay attention to, especially if they have still federal student loan balances, which most of them do. As you know, the average dentist graduates with about $300,000 in student loan debt today. And so what the CARES Act did is effective from March the 13th through September 30th, there's no interest that's going to be accruing on most federal student loans. So for the average dentist graduating with $300,000 of student loan debt at about 6%, that's a $9,750 savings. So that's pretty cool. The other thing is that for those dentists that have graduated already and are on an income-driven repayment plan or perhaps making payments on their federal student loans, they don't have to do that now until October the 1st. And then the third provision is related to public service loan forgiveness. So there's a number of folks that are working in public health clinics, and if they were laid off or furloughed, their public service loan forgiveness will not be interrupted, or it won't be adversely affected as a result of being laid off or furloughed. So for example, let's say they get laid off for a couple of months. As you know, they have to work 120 months and make payments, 120 payments towards public service loan forgiveness. Those 2 months that they're laid off will be counted towards those 120 months, as long as they go back to work after this period of time. So those are the three primary things that came out of the CARES Act.
That sounds like good news for young dentists paying their loans wherever they're at. How do you specifically, with what you guys do at Student Loans RX, how would you, if let's say you're a student watching this, a young dentist watching this, saying, you know, what do I do next? When they contact you guys, what do you guys do?
Great. So first of all, I just want to promote our webinars. We do a bunch of webinars, awesome. And so we can even, if we can get a half a dozen people together, we'll do a specific webinar just for their group. So, you know, there's 60-some dental schools.
How would they visit? Where would they visit to find out about these webinars? What's the best website?
They just go to our website. Yeah, go to our website, studentloansrx.com. They can go click on the more area and send me a message, and we'll put something together for their specific group. But we also do national webinars. They can email me at studentloansrx@rbfadvisors.net, and we'll get them plugged in and get an invitation out to them. But right now, what I'm telling students, obviously, they're entering a tough job market right now. So maybe they consider going on to residency for a year and kind of riding it out if they can still get into a one-year residency program. But it's really important, a couple things: file your taxes for 2019, even if you didn't have income, which most fourth-year dental students don't have income. File your taxes, because if you're going to get on an income-driven repayment plan after graduation, we can use that zero income tax return to establish that income. And from that point, depending on your family situation, you might qualify for as much as a 50% subsidy on your interest rate, for example, on the revised pay-as-you-earn income-driven repayment plan. So we help them figure out the appropriate strategy given their career aspirations, whether they're going on to residency, becoming an associate, maybe public health.
That's really awesome. I mean, this just showcases at this time, you know, I'm a medium-aged dentist, 2 practices, trying to figure things out, PPP, EIDL loan. We have, you know, I'm a practice broker, help dentists sell practices, buy practices. You're someone who works in this space, in this specific area. So there's resources to avail yourself of, as my friend Rob Montgomery would say, that can help you. And that's why people like you are studying this, focusing on this day in and day out. I mean, have you been contacted? What's the vibe from the clients that you do have right now with their loans? It sounds like they have a strategy right now with the CARES Act, and now it's just a matter of fact of following this yellow brick road, so to speak.
Yeah. So for example, I mean, we've been working in this space for a number of years. So I've had a lot of clients that have been making student loan payments over the last number of years. If they're still with the federal program, obviously they don't have to make those payments right now. And why would you if there's no interest accruing on them? Keep that cash. A number of them are laid off or furloughed. So if you don't have to make payments, don't make payments right now. One of the things that, we're talking to clients about that maybe have been out of school for a couple of years or are thinking about after graduation doing a private refinance. I'm not a real big fan of that right now because when you pull those loans out of the federal program, obviously you have to start making payments right away. Yeah. So, as much as we like to talk bad about the federal government, they've really done a great thing here for those borrowers that still have their loans in the federal program. You can actually put your loans on a deferment for up to 3 years on an income-driven repayment plan. So I am encouraging folks, don't rush to do a private refinance unless you really, really crunch the numbers and it makes sense for you.
And I think that's so important to point out because it seems like all these rules and regulations are hard to figure out. That's why you're there. I'm so glad you're a key resource and sponsor what we do because this is what we're doing. Trying to help dentists through a difficult time. JFO, just find out what you can do to make your life better in these next few months, less annoying. We're all going through this super challenging time together. Share with us one more time, Mark, how can people reach out to you guys to learn more about what you do, those webinars again, and how they could work with your company?
Sure. So our website is studentloansrx.com, and you can email us at studentloansrx@rbfadvisors.net. You can also call me on my cell phone. I'm hunkered down here in my basement, as you can tell. I'm lonely, so give me a call at 314-737-8123. And we believe in putting together comprehensive financial plans around your student loan debt. That includes insurance planning, investment planning, helping you create a budget, because your student loan repayment strategy is not a one-off. Everything you do with your student loans is going to impact your household expenses. It's going to impact how much insurance, how much you can put away for retirement. So we believe that you should take your student loans and build your financial plan around those student loans and not have them in isolation from the rest of your financial planning needs.
Super important point. And it just shows you we have a pandemic, we have a crisis, but it's always preparing your nachos, to use a term, your nachos for the next stage in your life. So reach out to Mark. You're a super nice guy, Mark. I love what you're doing with helping dentists figure out how to take care of their student loans. I encourage you to keep educating. I love webinars. I think it's awesome you're doing that because you can learn that anytime, anywhere, in your sweatpants, with your favorite snack, and sometimes tequila is your favorite snack, So I think that's awesome. Thanks for being part of what we do, Mark.
Thanks, Paul. Appreciate your time today.
Nachoverse, hang with me, Mark, for a second. Nachoverse, have a good rest of the day there. Reach out to Mark to learn more about what you guys can do with your student loans to get through this difficult time.